System relevance says, oh, you're not good enough. You're good enough for this. You're not good enough for this. And if you're not, you're lazy.
Why are we incompetent when it comes to art?
We are not incompetent. That's your conditioning. That's what they conditioned you and us. The systems always say, oh, it's possible you get a viral video. Yeah, it is. But you have to have 1 million viewers.
What are the 3 human superpowers that we should all be aware of, and explain a little bit about each of them?
Welcome to the Wheel With It podcast with your host, Devon. Let's get into the episode.
Hello. Welcome to another episode of Wheel With It. Today, we have Michall on the show. Michall is an artist. He's neurodiverse. He's just an amazing, fascinating human being to talk to. I'm not even going to try to give you his last name because I will butcher it. And here is my conversation with Michall. He was fascinating to talk to, and I think you're going to love it. Enjoy. Hello. Welcome to another episode of Wheel With It. I am Devon Wieters, and today we have Michall Margrutsche with us. How are you today, Michall?
I'm good. I'm alive. I always say I'm alive because if I say I'm good, you know I'm not good. And if I say I'm great, and you say, oh, what's so great with you? And I always say I'm alive.
That's a good thing to be alive. So tell us about yourself, and then we'll go from there.
I'm born in Vienna, in Austria, and I was a sick child. And when about 7, I went to school, and I didn't understand anything. I could understand, but I couldn't speak. I couldn't read. I was dyslexic extremely, and that's all they told me. 46 years, nobody was aware about dyslexia or neurodiversity or anything. And so they just said, hey, you're dyslexic, but you have to do everything else. You have to read, and we classify you for reading, and you have to speak and everything else. And I couldn't. And then I had to repeat classes. So I only have six years of it. And I had to repeat 2 years of that because of my neurodiversity. But I wrote 8 books. I worked with Robert Evans, who did The Godfather. I was art commission of Newport Beach. I did all kinds of stuff, but I didn't have them.
How did the Robert Evans thing come about?
This was a good thing. Very interesting story. I somehow came into selling television programs. And when I sold these television programs, I was in a fair, in a television fair. And then somebody tapped my shoulder and said, are you Michall Margrutsche? And I said, yeah, it's here on my tag. And then he says, when you are next time, Mr. Robert Evans wants to meet you. And next time you come to America, because they knew, for some reason, they knew that I went back and forth between America and Europe. And they said, can you please come by? And I was not even knowing who Robert Evans was. I knew The Godfather, I knew Chinatown, I knew all these movies, but I had no idea who Robert Evans, because he was the producer. He wasn't Coppola. Coppola was the director. We all know Coppola, right? When I came here, I asked then my friends, American friends, I said, do you know who this is? Oh, that's Robert Evans. And I was thinking somebody made a prank with me. And he didn't even give it anything. And then I went after the fair to follow up on all the sales of documentaries. I went through all the cards, and the last card was Robert Evans. And I said, oh, let me just call him. And then he invited me. And it was, they knew who I was, and they invited me. And that's how I met him. And then we had dinner, and he liked what I had to say, my perspective, because I have a very unique perspective.
So tell me exactly what you did for that movie.
We did a documentary on the Pope. There was a documentary. There was the Pope that was shot by the Polish guy.
No, I haven't heard of that.
No, that's the history of Paul John II or something. He was not assassinated, but he was shot with a Polish guy. And we made a documentary about this because how forgiving the Pope was. And especially Robert wanted to do a deep story about that Pope. He was very touched by that story.
Tell us a little bit about what you do now and what your career is now.
So I have no career. I'm on 450 podcasts. In the last 2 years, I keep writing books and articles and stories about humans. And I'm very segregating human centricity versus system relevant. And because human centricity is we are all one. You are part of me, I'm a part of you, and I'm not looking at you as anything but another human, and enjoy the dance. System relevance says, oh, you're not good enough, you're good enough for this, you're not good enough for this, and if you're not, you're lazy. And this is making us all crazy because it's not the right thing to do.
So why is it important that we adopt this human-centric view?
Because we are part of nature, and system says we are segregated from nature. See, this system says we're segregated, and we can exploit nature, and we can change nature, and we can't really change nature because we're part of it.
Yeah, and what are you doing to help people to spread awareness for this?
I'm writing articles, and see, when you look at it from the, it helps everybody, human-centrically and system relevant. I've talked about to 80 different people that are specialists, a doctor, a lawyer, anything. I talk to these people, and I can actually, they appreciate it and invite me back because my perspective is so unique, and they actually learn a lot because they are very system relevant, right? They're doctors, they're lawyers, they're politicians or whatever. And now I remind them, I said, but you're still a human first. See, you're Devon, but you're first a human first. And that's how I make people aware that we are not segregated. We are not separated. And every time if somebody says to me, oh, you're dyslexic, he labels me and that segregates us. So for example, when you say, oh, he's disabled or she's disabled. And I know a lot of disabled people, they don't want to be called disabled. But now, you know what? Because they're human. And they would say, oh, you're a mistake. If you're disabled, then you would say, nature made a mistake. Nature doesn't make mistakes. There's a reason why you are in that condition. There's a reason why I'm in neurodiversity, because I have a view of the stuff, an overview of the stuff. And so that's my neurodiversity. But that doesn't fit into the system generalization of what a man, a busy man, a leader should do. And so I think we learn a lot about when we interact. That's the highest form of learning, because you have your life perspective, which is totally different than your whole family. Your DNA is 101, and you can see it in your family. Not everybody likes the same things you like. And so everybody's 101. And when we realize that, then your perspective of life is very interesting to my perspective of life. That's a highest form of knowledge, because knowledge is a generalization.
So what's your argument for why we should adopt a human-centered point of view instead of system?
No, you have to do both, but you have to be, it's a very good question, because you have to have both, because system relevant is what we created, right? Let's say you and I create a thing for horses, a horse farm. We created the horse farm, and the human centricity is what humans do. So if I look at your horse farm, at the horse farm, system relevant, I have to look at costs, I have to look at building it, and we create it, and in that it's all linear, it's binary. But then I'm thinking about the horses, I have to think human-centric because they are living beings. And then I say, I can sense if that horse really enjoys it, if it likes it, if the horses are happy, give them the food that they like. And that's the human-centric part, because it's also, they are a part of nature, we are part of it.
How can we better include neurodiverse people in this human-centric?
But I'm saying, okay, it's just saying, if say, you are a woman, I'm a man, you are this, I'm that. It's just, okay, that's what it is, but it's not your definition of who you are, because you know from neurodiversity, I don't know if you know, but in neurodiversity, every dyslexic person is different, which is very human-centric. Every dyslexic, there's no same dyslexia. They say, oh, autism, there's not the same autism. Everybody is the same. Everybody's unique. And I hate labeling, even though I speak again, I say, you ask me my history, and I explained to you that I was banned by school, basically, because I didn't fit in. And I've never, and this is very interesting, I've asked a lot of people, even the cheerleaders and the quarterbacks in school or whatever, and nobody feels ever fit in. I know professional athletes, Robert Evans, nobody thinks they fit in. because they can't, because nature made us one of one. And because we can't fit in, every labeling is already taken away from us. Yeah, I'm a human like you are. And there's nothing to think. Yeah, am I neurodiverse? Yeah, I have that tendency. But there's people that are worse than me and better. And there's not even a worse and better. They just are who they are. Any labeling is very confusing because we put our beliefs that we have about Black people, Chinese people, dyslexic people, we put the label on because we know one dyslexic. We think all dyslexics are like that. But as I told you, every dyslexic is unique. We find one person that is a bad person that is a white person. Now, you think all white persons are bad? No. That's why you need to look at humans as the one-on-one.
You're an art guy, right?
Yeah.
So why is art important to you?
Because art, I learned all this stuff about system relevance and human centricity through art creation, because I couldn't learn even the art history. My dyslexia didn't allow me to learn art history. So I created art, and it made me happy. And it made me aware of self. And all my self-esteem that I have is about art creation.
Why are we incompetent when it comes to art?
We are not incompetent. That's your conditioning, that what they conditioned you and us. They condition us, the system conditions us. Because art creation, nobody cares about art creation. They care about the product. System, see, there you see the system versus human centricity. The system, the art business, doesn't care about you unless you have a super story and you say, oh, I'm handicapped and I painted this, whatever, yeah? But
yes, so inspirational.
Yeah. So they care about the product. Because if you're handicapped and you paint horrible, nobody would say anything and you wouldn't even be relevant in the system. But if you create, there's a video on Instagram where a total handicap, they had to hold her and all the stuff. And then she starts singing and she's saying like best opera star. And that is such a good video. And I use that to tell people about it, make them aware. I said, don't judge a book by its cover. Read the book first, experience the book first. And then it was beautiful. It's the creation where you get feedback. See, I got a lot of feedback from my own paintings. That's why I always tell kids when the kids are saying, oh, that's horrible, because you compare it to other paintings and you can't compare your painting to other paintings because it's your expression and your expression is a one-on-one expression. Oh, of course, system relevance, because most people love art. And there's more and more artists. We have never had so many artists now, but there's no art selling. People rather want to move into the creation of art. And when the system is, look, if I'm saying I'm creating bicycles, right? If I say I'm creating bicycles, I'm not selling any, then the system says that's a hobby, building his bicycle, but it's not a business. So they say you're lazy when you need to contemplate, right? Humans need to contemplate, especially when they don't sleep a lot. They need to think and stare at the wall or stare at a plant or something. And what does the system say? You're lazy. You're not good enough. So it's, do you see do you get a feeling for it? I mean, do you get a feeling for it, for the system relevance and that it helps when you segregate it?
Yeah.
In your mind. Not
yes.
Make it bad. It's not about system relevant isn't bad, but when we mix it together, we get lost.
So tell us about political correctness in the arts, and do you feel it's necessary?
No, it's not necessary. You can put political correctness wherever you want, but it doesn't tell you what you think, because I like to know that you are a Nazi, not you, another person is a Nazi.
Yes, then I get it.
but you understand what I mean. Then actually be secretly a Nazi and goose step in his basement and does horrible thing in his basement. I like you to say, that's why freedom of speech is so important, that we actually, your life experience let you want to be a Nazi. It's not that what that is, that context isn't wrong. Because if you feel the only way you can survive is a Nazi, then it's better when you speak that. When people can hear that, because then we can actually get clear about it and we can learn from it.
Yes. So can you explain what you believe about the 95% of artists worldwide at the poverty level?
because of exactly what I said, because they have a magical experience. Like you have a magical experience with me, right? Creating this and getting all ready and whatever. And then our podcast, let's say nobody listens to it. And what the artists do exactly that. They said, I had such a magical experience with Michael, but I'm not a podcaster because nobody's listening. See, when you know that the statistics that only 0.1% or 0.01% of artists make it, and this in every system it is, the viral videos. It's not that everybody makes viral videos. The systems always say, oh, you can get, it's possible you get a viral video. Yeah, it is. But you have to have a million viewers. You have to have a million viewers for 1 month. And then a sponsor comes and says, oh, Devon had a million viewers. I'll give you $5,000 to promote this. And then if you don't have the million viewers again, they cut the contract. So you cannot win. That's why the artists are not aware. See, the artists just believe, because humans are very benevolent. We believe what is told. And when the system tells us, oh, you can be viral, you can be Elon Musk, you can be this. Yeah, but what is the chances? You still have a probability. What's the chances? 1% of podcasters makes 98% of the money that podcasters make. So 2% are left for the rest of that's why you have 300 podcasts and you have 3 million podcasts, and I think 300,000 actually keep doing podcasts. There's not a lot of us out there that actually keep doing them. They just try it and then stop.
What are the 3 human superpowers that we should all be aware of, and explain a little bit about each of them?
Okay, there is creativity. We talked about creating. Everything is created. Systems are created. Podcasts are created. Art is created. Horse stables are created. We created everything. And that's the number 1 superpower, because without creation, there's nothing. So we can run in nature and be happy, but we wouldn't have a house. We wouldn't have anything. We would try to survive. Then and look what we did. Look, even if we hurt nature, look what we established. That's why I say systems are great, but you need to be aware that you are a human. Then the second one is discourse. Your and my discourse. My life perspective gets clearer when I talk to you and you tell me your life perspective or ask me questions. So that gets clearer. And then the third one is adaptability. We can adapt when, let's say, your dad is very strict and wants certain things. When your dad comes in, you adapt differently than when your mom comes. So that's the way how we adapt to each other. And also with this friend, you need to be aware of this. With that friend, So awareness is, but it costs energy because you cannot be yourself, but it costs a lot of energy and systems use that adaptability that people just completely do the bad things to other people. And
yeah, anything else that you want to add before we get off here? And
no, it's beautiful to see you. It's beautiful to see you. It's beautiful to have this talk. It just is beautiful.
Where can people follow you on social media? What's your website? All of that.
Yeah. So if you go on my Michall.com, Michall with 2 M's.com. So MICHAELM.com. And there you can see my art, my talks, my things, everything you can see there. Okay.
Okay. And we'll have all those links in the show notes. And we will see you guys next episode. Be sure to subscribe, follow, leave us a rating and a review, 5 stars, please, and hit the bell if you're on YouTube and Spotify so you get notified about new episodes when they drop. And we'll see you guys next episode. Bye, guys. So I really love that conversation. I thought he was fascinating. His theories are fascinating. His life is fascinating. So again, we will have all those links in the show notes. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell if you're on YouTube or Spotify. If you want to subscribe to our audio feed, go to realwithit.com/subscribe. Or if you want to subscribe to our YouTube feed, you can go to realwithit.com/YouTube. Have a good one, everybody. Bye.
Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the show. Remember to follow the show and our guests on social media and subscribe. Be sure to hit the bell so you'll get notified when we upload new episodes. See you next time.